Hi, I'm Keith Chubb, but most people call me Chubby. It's been my nickname for a really long time, so please feel free to call me that. And trust me, I won't be offended. I bet you're thinking I was a chubby kid, right? But I wasn't actually, I was skinny as a rail. Some of you who know me might not even know my real name. Whoops, the secret's out, but now you do. And along with my wife, Jude Hamilton, and Joshua Knight, we are Team Turnkey. Now, Jude and Joshua both bring something unique to the table. They are both psychologists, and of course, they're both realtors too. Jude has another special skill. She does sign language. And Joshua, he brings a youthful and interesting view of life here in the Villages because he's living in a 55 plus community at a very untypical age. So together, we each bring a different perspective to this community and to the people who are thinking about making the Villages part of their next chapter. You know, we might have invited you, or you might have just stumbled onto our channel. Either way, we're happy you're here. This channel is for anyone who is curious about the Villages, Florida. Maybe you're thinking about moving here, or you're planning a visit, or you already live here, or you may have friends or relatives that live here. Maybe you're already friends with us and just want to follow us along and see what we're all about. Or maybe you want to help spread the word about the Villages to your friends and family. And along the way, we hope to have a bunch of fun too. But before we get into all the details about the Villages, I thought it might help if you knew a little bit about me and how I got to this life chapter, because my path was not exactly a straight line, not at all. Over the years, I've worn a lot of different hats. And honestly, some people might call my life path very unconventional. But looking back, I don't think it was random at all. I think every chapter was teaching me something I would use later. So let me tell you a little bit about what I call my non-linear path. I grew up in small town USA, Canfield, Ohio, right outside of Youngstown. And when I say small town, I mean it was a really small town. At one point, Canfield was still called a village. Then we finally reached 5,000 people and became a city. And of course, we had a parade because that's what we did back then. There weren't really a lot of social options in Canfield, unless you counted bowling. Now here's a segue. After high school, I went to Bowling Green State University, where I graduated with a degree in accounting in 1977. My first job took me to an area a little west of Cleveland. And quite honestly, I hated the weather there. Rain, snow, gloomy days, not enough sunshine. It really got to me. I was there about a year and a half. And unfortunately, I didn't see much opportunity to professionally advance in that company. But it did give me a professional start, and it taught me to understand the numbers, to respect the details, and to know how much preparation really mattered. But then I was given a chance for a promotion, and that move took me to the coast of North Carolina. Woohoo! I spent about 5 years there, and I really enjoyed it. I lived close to the beach too, and the weather was way better. The experience was invaluable, and I learned a lot, and honestly grew professionally because I had a lot of responsibilities. I was the controller there. But eventually I started feeling the pull of a bigger city, so I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where I raised my 2 sons. Shout out to Brian and David. And they still live there today with their families. Those moves taught me something too. Sometimes people do move for opportunity. Sometimes they move because they think there is something different waiting for them. Maybe even something they didn't even expect, a brand new chapter. While I was in Charlotte, my life took a very interesting turn. Well, wait a minute. Actually, more than one. First, my entrepreneurial side kicked in, and I started my own mobile karaoke entertainment company. Believe it or not, with the help of a lot of great people over the years, that business is still running today. It actually celebrated its 37th anniversary in June of 2026. You may know it as Chubby's Karaoke or Chubby's Entertainment. And to this day, it's still out there bringing music, fun, and people together. That experience taught me how to read a room, how to make people feel comfortable, how to connect with all kinds of personalities, and how to bring energy into a room without making it all about me. Entertainment taught me connection, confidence, and how to read people. Eventually, I started realizing that my professional life was making me miserable, though. I made a major career decision, and I stepped away from my accounting career and chased my true desire to be involved in a larger music opportunity. That decision led me into the karaoke software business, where I helped design, launch, and market the most successful professional karaoke product line in the US. That chapter taught me how to look at a product, understand what people needed, and explain it clearly, and help bring a new idea to the marketplace. And marketing that product taught me creativity, communication, and to really think outside the box. Then in the early 2000s, I visited Cancun, Mexico. And while I was there, I noticed another opportunity. So believe it or not, I decided to expand my karaoke business to Cancun. And yes, I know what you're thinking. How does a guy from Charlotte who didn't speak Spanish, actually still doesn't very well, didn't know the culture, and didn't know much about Mexico, decide to make that kind of jump? Well, in typical chubby fashion, I decided to go for it. Along with the great assistance of my now ex-wife, it turned into a really successful story, and I ended up living there for 18 years. Cancun taught me how to adapt, how to take risks, how to figure things out in unfamiliar situations, and how to keep moving forward, even when I didn't have all the answers. Cancun taught me about a slower pace of life, adaptability, reinvention, and during those Cancun years, I had experience I could have never imagined. I met people from all over the US and Canada, became friends with them, even visited them in their own homes. For 3 years, I gave live medical presentations for an all-natural medical company. I wrote a business plan and convinced the company I was doing karaoke for to invest $250,000 into a location that became a successful entertainment bar. I performed beach weddings and vow renewals. And just for grins, I even became, wait for it, a guest referee for professional Mexican wrestling. Yeah, those wrestlers that wear the masks. As a lifelong wrestling fan, that was one of definitely the hardest and greatest things of all time. But all those experiences had something in common. They all involved people, different backgrounds, different personalities, languages, cultures, education levels, and the different life stories. And I learned how to meet people where they are, make them comfortable, earn their trust, confidence, and respect, and find common ground. Then around 2016, my life took yet another turn. I was divorced then, still in Cancun, and I met an amazing woman online. And we met at a dating service, by the way. I will never forget her initial message to me. She said, "I see you're a Beatles fan. My name is Jude. Hey." Well, you can only imagine that with that kind of start, one thing led to another. We fell in love, and after 2 years of a long-distance romance, I moved back to the United States. And in typical chubby style, Jude and I decided to give the Villages, Florida a try. And we said, hey, if we like it, we'll stay. And if we don't, we'll move somewhere else. Well, of course, we stayed. We fell in love with this community. We officially retired. And then in another unexpected twist, we both decided to unretire because we realized we still had something to offer. So we both became Florida Realtors. And now this chapter has brought so much of my life together. The numbers, the creativity, the communication, the people skills, the ability to adapt, and the understanding that a major move is just not about changing where you live. Sometimes it's about changing how you live. This chapter is about clarity, confidence, and a fresh start. So yes, my path may have looked totally nonlinear, but it was never random. Every chapter gave me something. Accounting gave me the numbers. Entertainment gave me the people skills. Marketing gave me the creativity. And of course, Cancun gave me the adaptability. And life gave me the ability to connect with people from all walks of life. So when I talk about people making a major move, starting over, or stepping into a new chapter, I'm not speaking from theory. I'm speaking from experience. Because sometimes the path that doesn't look straight is the exact path that gets you where you were supposed to be. So that's my background. And that's why this chapter of life here in the Villages means so much to me.